According to the Father's will, obedience in Gethsemane. Dear beloved congregation, this morning we enter into a deep place of meditation through Matthew 26:42. Before facing the suffering of the cross, Jesus earnestly prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane. Then he went a second time and prayed, saying, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." This statement contains the deep anguish of the human Jesus, as well as his determination to fully obey God's will. This cup symbolizes the suffering of the cross and God's judgment that is to come. Jesus wanted to avoid this cup due to human weakness, but ultimately prayed, "Not my will, but yours be done," fully submitting to God's will. Dear beloved saints, Jesus' prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane gives us deep inspiration and challenge. We also often face hardships and difficulties in life that we wish to avoid. Sometimes, even while praying, we insist on our own will and turn a blind eye to God's will. However, even in extreme pain, Jesus laid down his own will and followed only the Father's will. Through this obedience, Jesus walked the path of the cross, and because of his sacrifice, we have received salvation. The obedience of Jesus was not just a simple submission, but an amazing expression of love towards us. Today, we must reflect on our own prayers and obedience through this message. We need to consider whether we are truly seeking God's will and living a life of obedience to it, or if we are prioritizing our own desires and thoughts. Like Jesus, we must seek the faith and courage to cry out, according to the Father's will in any situation. According to the Father's will, obedience in Gethsemane is not just a moment of prayer from Jesus in the past, but an attitude of life that is constantly required of us today. Just like Jesus who prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, when we lay down our own will and fully obey God's will, we will live a blessed life, participating in God's amazing work. Amen.